Welcome back everyone to the Hello World Guide. This is another episode of the Better Mario series with C++ and SFML. And as you remember, in the last video we set up a camera, and in this video we are going to set up some rendering stuff. So I have done some things that I would like to show you. So you can see in my resource files I have added an image of a tile that you can quickly generate any image in some software that you like, or you can download one off the internet, and we can use that, and we will try to draw this image to the screen instead of just drawing a circle. This is basically a 16 by 16 image, and it looks like the block from Mario games. So we'll just have that, and we'll try to draw one of these onto the screen. So I have added that to my resource files, and in just an like a normal thing. So I have created a new class here called renderer. So I have not implemented the class yet, only created its definition, and let's just quickly go over it before we get to the fun parts of actually implementing this stuff. So you can see I've got a function called draw, which takes in a texture. So what's a texture? A texture is basically like a image. It's like an image, but it's stored on the GPU, and we can use it for drawing. So you can see that's what it says right there on the documentation. And if you go, for example, here you can see I've got also two vector 2f here. One is a for position and one is for the size, and that's all pretty simple. But the texture is a new thing. So it's basically like an image that we can draw onto anything. We can use it to draw to the screen. And the reason we are using this const references is because passing by reference is much more efficient, since passing by copy means we'll just copy it, but this will allow us to pass literal values since it's constant, but we can do that as well. So you can see in the private values we have got a sf : sprite here, which is just a sprite. Now a sprite, as you can see on the documentation, is basically like a let's go over it. It's basically a texture target which you can draw a texture on. So let's go ahead and try to check it out. It's got a bunch of functions. So first of all, let's go ahead and set a position of the sprite to the position variable that we have got. So that's pretty awesome. And you might be tempted to set the size of the sprite next, and you might say set scale here, and you can see we have got also set rotation, but let's for now leave it and only set the scale. And you might be tempted to just set it to size. There's a problem with this which we'll get to in a second. So first let's go ahead and set the texture as well, and let's set it before anything else, and let's just set that to texture. And the problem is that you can see we are calling the sprite.setScale method. Now notice the word scale and size are two different things. So the scale means that it will take the size of the texture and increase that size by this amount. But what we want to do is we want to have the sprite render at that size regardless of the texture size. So you might be divide the texture size by the size in order to get it. And since this is a vector 2u, you might want to cast it to a vector 2f, and we actually reverse the order here. We need to divide the size by the texture size, and you can see it's also not letting us divide, because you can't divide a vector directly like that. But because it's not implemented, since vector multiplication and division are not like done in the standard way, but we just want to do each individual element, so we are going to do it our own way by creating a sf : vector 2f here. And we are just going to say the size.x value and divide that by the texture dot get size.x value. So just like that, and you can quite clearly imagine that we do the similar thing for the y-axis. This I'm just changing size.y and texture dot get size.y. And if we do that, that should essentially allow us to put the sprite at a specific scale. Now for actually drawing the sprite, we actually don't have anything to draw it on. Now you might be tempted to add a reference to a, say, a render window here, but we can actually do something better than that. We can go ahead and use something called a render target. So a render window is just a render target. So if I go ahead and add a const reference against to a render target, and we can actually render in SFML to a bunch of different steps apart from the target. So if I go ahead and do that, and let me just rearrange some of this so that we can see this better. So our render target will basically be like it can be a texture or a window or anything else, and we'll draw to that, and we don't really care what it is since we just want to draw. And we'll replace the new the function prototype so that we can use it. And now you might be tempted to just go ahead and say target.draw, but if you go ahead and actually type that, it won't work. Now the reason for that is because we are taking a constant reference while you can't draw to a constant render target. So what we are instead going to do is we are just going to remove the const from here and here as well, so that we take an actual reference and not a constant reference. And what I'm going to do is just say actually target.draw and pass it our sprite, since a sprite is a drawable, but a texture however is not a drawable, and I made a typo here. So let's just fix that real quick, and that would do what we want it to do. So that's essentially going to just draw everything, draw the sprite on the correct point on the screen. So let's go ahead and try to test this out to see if there are any issues, which they actually will be, a couple of them. So let's first of all go ahead and create a renderer here called renderer, just pretty simple, and we of course need to include the header file before we use it. So now let's go ahead and try to draw this. So we will say something like sf : texture, and just create a texture here like that, and texture can be loaded from a file with load from file function. So if that function returns false, that means that the file is not correct and we can just exit out. So let's load the file from the block.png file that I just showed you, and you might want to just say exit, or since we are in the main function, we can just return with a code of -1, saying that it's an error. So we have got our texture loaded at this point, and now we need to actually draw it. So since we are now using a renderer to draw our stuff, we will need to change the outline of the render function in the game.h. So we are currently just doing that. We are actually going to use a renderer here instead and call that renderer. And since a renderer requires a render target to actually render every time, we will need to pass, have a reference to a render target as well. And you might want to just do that, and actually this is not an sf : renderer and just a normal renderer. And let's go ahead and implement the render function in game.cpp like that. And let me open up game.cpp, and in here I'm going to remove the old renderer function since we don't really need that anymore. And in here you can see it's giving us an error. That's because we have not actually included the header. So let me just go under game.h and include the header of renderer.h here. Since we are using that, we need to obviously include it. And in here you can see that we want to if you want to draw something, we will have to do renderer.draw, and we will have to pass the target each time. So that's a bit tedious. Is there a better design we could come up with? Well, there actually is a better idea. We are going to store that as a member variable, a private one, which is basically a reference to a render target called target. And let's go ahead and all we need to do is create a constructor here which takes a reference to a render target. And a reference in C++ cannot be empty. That's the advantage of using it over a pointer. We don't need to do a bunch of null checks or anything. So if we cannot pass, like we could pass a null pointer, but we can't pass anything empty to it, and we must initialize the reference. So we will initialize that reference like that, and just using like the normal constructor syntax in here. And in render.h, what we can do is we can just remove the sf : render target at completely, because since we are using a member variable, we don't need to of course have it in the draw method. So we can just remove all of that and just rearrange the stuff a bit so that it looks a bit better. And you can see that the code is still working because we still have the renderer as a member variable. Now this is giving an error because we are not giving it the render target as a reference in the constructor. So we will just pass our window here, and now in the game.h we actually don't need the render target at all. We just need a reference to a renderer, which is our own class. So that's pretty awesome, and we can just go ahead and try to draw it. But currently we are loading the texture in the main.cpp file, but let's just go ahead and load it in game.cpp instead. And let's just paste this here, and of course we will need to do the actual loading inside of the begin function. And let's just remove our circle, and of course you can't return here. We will use exit function to exit with a code of -1, and which indicates that we failed to load a texture, and that's an error. So now in the render function, what we will do is we will say renderer.draw and we will just pass it our texture. And for the position, let's just say 0 0, since we want it to draw in the middle of the screen, so we can say just pass a constructor of vector 2f without any arguments. And for the size, our zoom level is 5, so we will pass a size of 2 by 2 so that it covers kind of a small portion, half of the screen or something. So in here we will of course pass it our renderer when we want to render it, and that is pretty much it. Now let's go ahead and try to run this, and you should see that we run into a small problem. So as it should compile correctly, so you can see the build is running, but we will run into a problem. So as soon as the program starts, we will see the texture, but you can see that it won't be at the correct place. So you can see that the texture is there, but it's kind of at the not at the center, it's at the bottom right side. So what we need to do is we want it to be centered. The reason it's not centered is because our screen has a origin at the center, but the actual sprite does not have it at the center. It has it at somewhere at the top left corner, around that. So what we want to do is we want to use the set origin function on the sprite like we did on the circle to make sure that it's set to exactly the center. And what we can do for that is we can basically cast the texture size to a vector 2f, and actually we need to do it before we apply any transformations. So we will cast the textures, get size, and we will get the size and cast it to a vector 2f and divide it by 2.0f, so that it's basically halved, and that should put the origin of the sprite in the center, and it should allow us to draw it correctly. So as you can see, it compiles quite easily, and we have got a the correct texture in the center of the screen. That's pretty awesome. Now what we can do is since everything is black, we can actually change the color that we are doing the screen with actually not like that, by passing an argument to window.clear. Since we are already calling it, we can say sf : color. You can pass an RGB value, or you can use one of the colors here like magenta or something, or you can use white or yellow or whatever. So let's do that, and if I run it, what you should see is that we do indeed get a very bright screen, bright background, and yeah, you can see that looks kind of interesting, I guess. But we are going to change this to have a grayish kind of color in the background, so we will just say sf : color, and in here for the RGB values, you can quite clearly see that it does not expect the values to be floats like some other frameworks, but instead it expects them to be unsigned characters, basically like 8-bit values. So we will just say 20, 20 and 20 here, and leave the alpha value out, which means it would be full. So that should give us a grayish kind of color, and you can see that it gives us a very dark gray. And let's that's pretty awesome. And you can of course put any RGB values that you like here to get any color you like. So we can of course increase the size, and it should update. And since our screen is 5, we might want to make it 5 by 5 to cover the whole screen, or just say 4.75 on both axes, and that what that should do is it should kind of make it cover a lot of the screen, but not like up to the edges. So let's see if that works, and you can see that it does work, and the transformations and everything and the scaling is being applied correctly. So yeah, this was pretty much it for this video. In the next video, we'll develop a proper texture manager, so stay tuned for that. I'll see you in the next one, and make sure to like and subscribe as well, and bye.